The Epstein files. There are none. Okay, as far as the Epstein list, there is no Epstein list. The evidence suggested there really was not an Epstein list if you were watching this case with any sort of eagle eye.
The Justice Department released so many records from the Epstein files today, more than 3 million pages plus videos and photos, that if you were to print them out and stack them up, they'd be about 3 times taller than the Statue of Liberty.
The Epstein files. There are none.
More than 3 million pages.
More than 3 million pages.
3 million pages.
Over 3 million more pages.
Releasing more than 3 million pages of documents.
Justice Department releasing more than 3 million pages of documents related to convicted defender Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein files.
The Epstein files. There are none.
It is all of them. All of them. And not one will be able to escape.
What is true is we had some good parties at the White House. Woo!
Public place, you did it.
The best.
Okay, the best. Probably the Obama thing.
John!
These incestuous relationships with Anthony Fauci that go back 20 years, where he's paying Fauci, and they have all kinds of really corrupt financial entanglements with each other. He bought Fauci $1,000.
No, I never had COVID. It is all of them. All of them.
I am on every list except the Epstein list. We haven't heard anything about that one in a while. I'm fine with all the other lists. As long as I'm not on the Epstein list, we're good, right? Speaking of which, how is it that my father can be convicted of 34 crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light? I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right, folks? It's almost like they're trying to protect those pedophiles for some reason. I can't imagine why, right? We're not allowed to say they're groomers, but when they act a lot like groomers, sort of tells you everything you need to know, right?
And no, he made a statement about me and Jeffrey Epstein. I have nothing to do with that. I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. And in fact, if you look at the DOJ, they announced, they released 3 million pages. It's like this is all they're supposed to be doing. And frankly, the DOJ, I think, should just say, we have other things to do, because that whole thing is...
Because it looked like this guy, Wolf, who's a writer, was conspiring with Epstein to do harm to me. And I didn't see it myself, but I was told by some very important people that not only does it absolve me, it's the opposite of what people were hoping, the radical left. That Wolf, who's a third-rate writer, was conspiring with Jeffrey Epstein to hurt me, politically or otherwise. And that came through loud and clear. So we'll probably sue.
There's no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
in the case file.
Okay.
Former British government minister Peter Mandelson resigned Sunday as a member of Prime Minister Keir Starmer's Labour Party. That is after new reports surfaced linking him with disgraced U.S. financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Now here we are. You know, we didn't simulate this. We didn't practice.
On behalf of our partners in the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
So both the health policies and economic policies, we find ourselves in uncharted territory.
The categories of documents withheld include those permitted under the Act to be withheld. Files that contain personally identifiable information of victims or victims' personal and medical files, and similar files, the disclosure of which would constitute a clearly unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. Any depiction of CSAM or child pornography was obviously excluded. Anything that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. And finally, anything that depicts or contain images of death, physical abuse, or injury, also not produced. Although the Act allows for withholding for items necessary to keep
we need America to wake up and prioritize Israel, bring home Israelis, and make sure we stand by our #1 ally in Israel.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Update, a very unique and unusual late night update. I'm your late night host, Dean Ryan, reporting to you from Studio B due to very strange, unusual circumstances that has still haunted the Real Deal Media newsroom. As you may know, the Epstein files have fluttered their way into the consciousness of the United States, Americans altogether, and throughout the world, and the DZ Beltway, as we call it. But it has really rocked the foundation in the core of people's lexicons and what they're talking about, from the dinner tables to the workplace. However, the powers that be, the power structure, does not want to talk about it. But there's over 3 million files that have been released and then deleted right away. And we're going to go through some of them right now. And through the course of the next couple of days, we're going to continue to do so. And in no particular order, we're going to just dish them out where we get them, as you saw in the feature footage that we showed here. Pretty haunting, isn't it? But let's just get started in a few of these, again, in no particular order. And some of these are so shocking, I haven't even digested them yet fully. Well, here's just some of them to start. And some of the files that have come out, and some of them are very reminiscent to WikiLeaks, really oddly. Well, here's some of them right now. The Epstein File Release reveals Jeffrey Epstein has confirmed kind of what we already knew, that the United States was helping ISIS. And ISIS and Al-Qaeda was an extension of, this is the drink and murder of the night, Israel. That's right. Just remember that one. Here we have some other ones here. We have Bill Barr, also known as Elton Barr here. was an FBI Epstein case report contains sworn victim testimony alleging that William Barr, former Attorney General during Trump 1.0, the man that did absolutely nothing except after his term was over, he tried to eliminate Trump and prosecute for January 6th, oddly enough. Well, it says that former U.S. Attorney General William Barr was present during the sexual abuse of a child and did nothing. I mean, that's just to start. Continuing. Here's some other things. We also confirmed that Epstein was Mossad. Although Ben Shapiro, Mr. Painted Eyebrows, Mr. Trying to look very Earth Tony lately, he said that wasn't the case. Well, here we have Epstein would call attorney Alan Dershowitz, and then he would also call the Mossad, and then the Mossad would call, Epstein would call Dershowitz, and then the Mossad would also call attorney Alan Dershowitz to debrief. Now, there was a lot of debriefing in this case. It's the legal term. And remember, Dershowitz says he know nothing, although he represented Epstein, close personal friends of Netanyahu. And this is coming out too. We're also hearing Bill Maher, close personal friends with Benjamin Netanyahu, which would truly explain the egregious shilling and totally covering up any crime of the IDF in Israel altogether. So there's further smoking guns we're finding out, much to the dismay. Now here's another one. The new mayor of New York City, Zohran Ramdani. That's right. Well, it looks like his mother has a lot in common with Trudeau's mother. In this case, the mother of Zohran Mamdani was one of the concubines of Jeffrey Epstein and is now said to be Jeff Epstein's, bastard child. His illegitimate son, biologically though, is Zohran Mamdani. I mean, that's the 00 on the roulette table right there. That's huge. That's a big one here. And everybody was freaking out like, oh my God, he's a Muslim. New York's going to go under. Well, no, New York's going to go under for many other reasons, right? Continuing, but not limited to. We have this one here. You can't get past some of this stuff here. Well, here's the governor of Florida, Mr. Ron DeSantis, Mr. High Heels and a low neck sweater. Well, now it goes to apparently back in 2008. He raped a man. He raped a man in 2008. And you're going to see a theme here. So he raped a man in 2008. He was scared of being locked up and being referred to as a psychopath. It just all kinds. It goes very deep into that one. Now we know who started the Russian dossier when Trump got into power. It was little Marco Rubio, then Senator Marco Rubio. This is now coming out. He is now the man, quote, the best Secretary of State, according to Trump. That's what he calls him now. Yes, little Marco Rubio was set up by the Zionists to come into power. Miriam Adelson, with all her hundreds of $million dollars, one of her requests was to put that little Marco into the Secretary of State position, which gradually happened to the dismay of anyone who has, followed the Donald and everything he's done. I mean, nobody could believe that. I mean, just horrific cabinet picks throughout both terms here. Let me continue here. There's so much happening here. It's really hard to keep track. Okay, so we have that one. Now, here's something very strangely esoteric and quite demonic. Well, now Epstein named his bank account Baal, B-A-A-L, which is all kind of directly related to the Talmud, one of the ancient one of the, I want to say, the original offshoots of Judaism and Zionism. Just Baal, very, very, but in this case, Baal is a demonic deity, I guess you could call it. Baal is the demonic being that was worshipped in ancient Israel by some Hebrews before they converted to Judaism. Yeah, you might have heard about that. Child sacrifice is a ritual of Baal worshippers, usually through burning effigies. They do that in the over there in Northern California at these rituals. And a lot of people said that's kind of what they did in Gaza. Yeah, Bohemian Grove, excuse me. So there's that one now. We also have, as you've seen, we have Trump denying everything. And, a lot of this corresponds, or I guess you could say, with a lot of what Wayne Madsen kind of shared with everybody of all the court cases that he revealed back in 2015. A lot of people didn't pay any attention to it. A lot of them were settled out of case. I don't want to go through the details of it, but it's pretty horrific stuff that is said about Donald Trump by victims, and some of it going all the way back as far as 1984. Then, during the Calendar Girls kind of events that are very reminiscent of JonBenet Ramsey, some of these ordeals, which when you get into it, the Ramsey case, and you see the old footage of what you would perceive as JonBenet in a beauty contest. A lot of people who are coming out now are saying those contests didn't even exist, and those were what you would have called calendar girl parties. So JonBenet was on display, to give you an idea of what these are. And all the men would swarm around them, as you saw in the opening footage here. And one of those men, too, oddly enough, was Robin Leach, former host of Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous, one of the most very well-known shows of the 80s and early 90s. Robin Leach, who's deceased, oddly enough, somehow came into my orbit about 15, 16 years ago, trying to work with me in these fashion events that I used to be part of and talk about small world. Wow, this is crazy stuff. So there's also a guy whose name keeps appearing in Epstein's records, now wants to sue the estate of dead sex trafficker for damaging the reputation. And that's exactly what Donald Trump is now saying. He wants to sue someone named, I believe, Michael Wolff, for writing these things. He said, he's not specifically denying some of these things, but saying it's all a hoax and it's all Democrat stuff. And this is hard to deny. It goes into the exact details, and I'm telling you, this is not good at all. So there's so much, okay? It's hard to tell you which one is the most damning outside of the one on Donald Trump, okay? And now here, let me close on this. Now, mentioned 690 times now in the files, 690 times, was Benjamin Netanyahu, Mr. J.J. Sullivan himself, mentioned throughout all of the Epstein files. And you can tell he's compromised. We know he's some sort of intel asset. So this is a pretty it's a daunting task to go through 3 million of these things. It's pretty haunting. And this will change the fabric of America. We're already getting reports that Jay-Z has left the U.S. We don't know where he's headed to, but I think he knows where he might be headed to if he stays. You're going to be seeing a lot of people just leave. This is why, I've always said that some of these preemptive measures have been taken by some of these celebrities. Bruce Willis just happened to get a very rare brain disorder where he can't remember anything anymore. You hear about Kim Kardashian having, brain hemorrhages, and she can't remember anything. She's very ill. You have Ray J with the same thing. Ray J is the brother of Brandy. He was also the former boyfriend of Whitney Houston in her last day alive, and a very renowned drug dealer of the stars in Hollywood. Ray J, and he was also in the Kim Kardashian porn video that made her famous, that her mother distributed earlier on. Yeah, he's now having some, he said he doesn't have too much longer to live. So you're going to see more of the narratives pop out. And this really brings back a lot of the Pizzagate things. However, a lot of the earlier on Pizzagate influencers, to use that term, probably never saw the Donald Trump angle to this and are probably either in denial or very baffled, to say the least. And yeah, here's some of the anomalies going on here. And let me tie this into Iran. The timing of this, okay? The timing of this, I'm going to put it all together for you. The timing of this release tells me, just like the last timing when the United States and Donald Trump was kind of forced to bomb Iran, which I could tell he didn't want to. Well, then we saw the personalized birthday card from Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. It got released in the New York Times. That is said to have been released by the Mossad at behest of Israel, of course. Here we are again. The stakes are much higher. Now, he's now being forced to get into a full kinetic war with Iran. He didn't want to. Tucker Carlson was in the White House well over a week ago, put some sense back into the mindset of Donald Trump. Some have said. At that same time, Israel was testing nuclear bombs, nukes. And remember, there's no oversight. They want Iran to get the weapons inspectors and have oversight, but they don't need any, and they're pretending they don't have it. But they're not afraid and will use the Samson option, which is to just nuke Iran altogether. And the bloodlust culture in Israel, they're all clapping for it. But here's the stakes now. Now this is out. And now what also Israel is trying to do is sow a discord of division in the United States right now with ICE, which ICE's training, okay, is received. They get their training from the IDF, from Tel Aviv. And the whole purpose of ICE is to create division in the United States and also take out the dissidents. And it's happening now because the United States, the American people, have never been more united and together to see who the true adversary of this country is, and Israel can't have that. Now, you have the two events of the two people that got shot. The one we can't confirm wholeheartedly, but the most recent one, Mr. Pretty, because it's a pretty good psyop, isn't it? First one named Good. It's said to be that he's a former IDF soldier. Now, with that said, Israel is trying to start a civil war in this country to distract us in order to get us into the war and fight another war of theirs with Iran, the last domino to fall. Now, if they can't do that, they're going to put saboteurs who are going to be masquerading as Iranians to do it. Or they could use the right-wing, anti-Israeli lone gunman shooter to do it. But it's going to be Mossad. Believe me. That's what they're going to try to do. Now, Donald Trump, because now the cat's out of the bag, they can't blackmail him anymore unless they got more heinous things. He's got the choice to make. His name might be mud going forward, but he's got a choice to make whether he wants to spill more American blood and treasure in the Middle East for this demonic country called Israel, or if he's going to fall on the sword and do the right thing and save millions of lives and cut the ties of Israel. Now is the time to do it. And they also know that's a possibility, and they're going to try a real assassination attempt this time. And this is how dangerous it is right now in the West, throughout Europe too, throughout the Western Hemisphere, but especially right here in the United States. So time will tell. We're going to be monitoring the situation despite our tech hangups here, which are just highly unusual, but that's just the way it is. Anyways, I'm going to sign out here and keep you updated when things happen as they happen. It is a crazy, wild world, isn't it? And we are really on the brink of revolution. So for all of us here at Late Night Update, thank you for tuning in. I am Dean Ryan saying always remember to stay tuned and stay awake. Good night, everybody.